Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. We're picking back up with Amazulu today. We're kicking off with our match against FC San Pedro out of Cote d'Ivoire. Although we'll be taking them on at home, so we don't have to worry about the team traveling. And then we'll follow it up with a league match against Orlando Pirates, who are on a bit of a run lately. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, because they started off absolutely terrible, but they've been steadily climbing up the league tables lately. We've got enough spacing in the matches right now that we shouldn't be hit too hard by attrition, although it's going to get rough at the end of the season with these 3 games, but that's a problem for later. Everyone's awful happy about that beating we gave Black Leopards, although given how exhausted they were, I don't think we should be too surprised. We hadn't played a game in 2 weeks, and they had like 4 or 5 matches back to back. Even if we were traveling, I don't think the San Pedro match would have been too tough, because they're the worst team in our group. So we're going to be able to take advantage of the weakness of Ivorian soccer. We're not going to have to make a lot of changes to the team coming in, which is nice, because this is only our tentative changes earlier in the week, but we're already mostly naming the same team other than these changes we're making up the right here. Yeah, we're so expected to win that they're worried about complacency in this match, so things are looking pretty good. Oh, Dice over there. That's where he ended up when we let him go. Yeah, I agree. We just need to get a win. If we lose here, we're going to have a hard time against the tougher teams. Put on our standard bullying a weak team instructions. Absolutely no one's doing bad at training, which is nice to see. Although I do kind of like when someone's just doing slightly bad, so I can tell them to buck up and get the morale boost, because morale's one of the most important things in this game. If your players are unhappy, they're unlikely to play well, no matter how well they're doing at training or how good your tactics are. And I'm willing to throw pretty much everyone into that match that they want, because it's happening the day after our Champions Cup match, so it won't affect anything there. They'll still have 2 days to bounce back before the next league match. Mattia is pretty much good to go. We're going to have to keep an eye on Minkubi if we play him, but take him off after 45. But I don't think we're going to be starting him. Things are going to be looking pretty rough if we are. And if things are that rough, we're going to have to ignore the request to take him off, or the recommendation to take him off after 45, because I'm not going to have anyone else to put in his place. Pretty hot, but not dangerous, so that's good to see. It would be nice if we knew who was going to ref this game, given that it's happening right now. This looks pretty good. Sanago's not quite at the level we'd like. Mirosavic is not quite at the level we'd like, but they work well together, so that kind of cancels it out. Lacala is really not that great, but he's got a good partnership with Matenja was, so once again that's pretty cancelled out. And Matenja was not quite as good as we'd like. So we have some weaker players on the pitch, but they all work well together, and it kind of cancels out their weakness. We're developing quite a lot of good partnerships, actually, because Safema and Fountain have a good one. And Tau and Makwakwana have a good one. So all in all, I feel very good about this team we're bringing out today. Playing at home, our pitch hasn't degraded as much as I feared it was going to. So the only real danger here is the heat, and it's not quite to the point that it should really be affecting people's stamina. So we've got good conditions for this match. Of course, the Ivorians are out to prove a point, but they're getting fairly outplayed by us. They did manage to take the ball away, but we stole it back without any loss of ground at all. Safema's got a beat on them early. Looks like things are breaking down a little bit just because he's not super used to playing with Tunkara out on the wing there, but they should be able to get used to each other fairly quickly. They're playing in the same roles as normal, so the adjustment period shouldn't be too long. It looks like San Pedro are parking the bus pretty hard here. They've only got one person up past the ball. This could be difficult with the amount that they're flooding the box, though, because we're not great at long distance strikes, so we need to work the ball in there, and if it's packed with San Pedro players, it's going to be hard for us to get a clear shot. And somehow they got a goal from Diakiti, assisted by Aka. It was his first goal of the season. Looked like we were just asleep at the wheel there. That's pretty embarrassing. Adam should have had that. I don't blame Nidlovo for not getting it. It was deflected pretty close, and he was already diving. And it looks like we got a penalty right away. Probably on Dow. Yeah, Tao's going to take the penalty. And Tao hits the post and just stands there and watches it. I'm a little surprised he was taking the penalty instead of someone like McQuaquina, but I didn't think I needed to argue with it because I figured he'd be a good enough striker. Here comes Sefema with a chance to try to make something happen. He's been playing well today. And Tunkara scores his 7th, assisted by Matinjwa to get us even going into the break. So hopefully I yell at everyone at the halftime break and we come out playing well for the second half, because we should still be able to win this. That was a kind of fluky goal they scored. Yeah, tell the team that we're playing like shit, because they are. We should be up by like 2 goals right now, and they should not have scored one on us. Drawing the first game of the group in a vacuum isn't that bad for us. Like, that's far from a deal breaker. We can still easily finish first, but drawing against the worst team in the group is a pretty big deal. It shows that we're really not Championship Cup this season if we can't win this. We're not close to that caliber. Tunkara was trying another shot from a tight angle, but that's the one thing they're doing really well. They're not getting shots on us, but they're blocking us off incredibly effectively, forcing us to take shots from outside past like 6 guys, and we're not that good shooting. I'm hoping this heat wears them down and we can break through and get a second goal later in the match, but they're from a much more equatorial country than we are. They're probably more used to playing in the heat, so I'm not sure a mere 27 degrees is going to be enough to wear them down. And they're playing so defensively that we can't just wear them out with running them ragged around the pitch, because they're not biting. They're perfectly happy to let us have the ball on the outside. They're well coached. Looks like Tao is continuing to be awful. Oh yeah, he's gotten worse since he missed that penalty. I think we know who's getting subbed off first. McQuaquina might have broken free. Oh, just missed. Yeah, it's a very easy Taos, the sub here. Take him off from Monty Bantois. I don't have a lot of options that are good in the middle there, but with the way Tao's playing, just getting Monty Bantois on as an attacking midfielder. And he's grown into a 3-star player, so this is actually an alright change. Don't know what that shot was. Matengwa looks like he's kind of starting to fall apart too. He's making some questionable passes. Good defending from Nidlovo there. That was an embarrassing breakaway. I have to say, these guys are playing above their rating in the game. Like, this is not a 2-star team performance. We're clearly the better team, and they're keeping us tied by parking the bus and playing super defensively. But they're not being played off the park. And we're not putting on that bad of a performance. Like, we're not playing well here. There we go. Tunkara got his 8th, and assisted by Mothi Bantois, positioning us to win the game. Like, we're not underperforming that badly. So these guys are playing very well. Or they're a better team than the rating says, because the ratings aren't super adaptive. We're still rated 3 stars, and we've cut down a lot on quality. Alright, this looks like a pretty easy removal for Makwakwina. I'll put Shobeni in for him. He hasn't gotten played for a while. And we are up. And just before I take him off, Monty Bantois makes another mistake just to make me really happy that I'm getting rid of him. Or Makwakwina, sorry, not Monty Bantois. He's been playing alright since I subbed him in. I think the subs probably happened even though the board hasn't updated. No, it's still Matengwa. Oh, we're gonna. That was a good run in there. I don't know what Mirsavjevic was thinking there, but at least they cleared it right out for a throw-in instead of actually breaking away with it. Now we're starting to play good. Sfem has actually managed to turn himself into the worst player on the pitch by the end, so we're going to take him off for Ward. Ward's been getting a lot of minutes lately off the bench, which is kind of surprising to me because he's not good at any position really that I have a spot for him. But he's just okay at enough stuff that he gets to come in and fill spots. And when you're operating on the kind of budget I am this season, that's a really important player to have. Is just a guy that can do a lot of stuff kind of okay, because he keeps you from having to hire a lot of specialized players to cover 1 or 2 positions. I know I can throw Ward in for 10 minutes on just about anything, and he won't cost us the game probably. He's good enough to fill the roles. Like there, that was a really good play from him. He's only 1.5 star in the position, but he was still able to get in and interrupt, especially when he's fresh and they're not. Looked like Shobeni assisted by Tunkara there, although that past goal notification still hasn't gone away, so kind of guessing. Sometimes the game will glitch like that and just leave that up forever. I haven't found a way to get rid of it. There it goes. So now we get notifications of all their subs. Or we get the same Diarra sub multiple times, which is a new glitch. I haven't seen this one before. Oh, good thing we got that third goal. They just got a second. Looks like Diarra assisted by Aka. Okay, it looks like we're just skipping everything and going straight to the goal. The display's probably sorted out its mess now. These guys are definitely better than their rating indicates. Apparently there were a couple of yellow cards for them in there too that we just didn't get to see. And that's game. We did manage to squeeze out a win. The unnamed referee managed to do a pretty good job. Sanago made his 50th appearance for us. Tunkara made his 25th goal for us. Shobeni scored his first goal for us. I mean, we definitely underperformed out there, but I'm happy we got the win. The fact that we only have a +1 goal differential could be an issue later on, but hopefully we do better in the future and can just win. Tunkara was our player of the match, which is fair. He's one of the only good players on the pitch for that game. And he actually needed the morale boost of being complimented. Yeah, Pirates have been on a massive run lately. They're all the way up to 5th from last place. So this is actually going to be more in line with what I was expecting when I saw we had Pirates coming up on the schedule. They're usually a tough opponent. The reserves are playing well anyway. I'm going to have to be very careful about who I let go to the under-21s match and that match day against Pirates because they're putting on a hell of a run lately, and I'd really like to get another win here. It's a match I won't feel too bad if I lose, since we are vastly overperforming where we're supposed to be this year. And Pirates are just clawing their way back to where they're supposed to be this year. But it'll be nice if I can actually beat them. Gonna shuffle around this back line a bit. And hopefully I can get someone better than Saket Long in at striker by match day. I don't love that. Although he is a pretty good striker. I keep forgetting how good he is because he's never on the pitch because he's always hurt. And so I only see him as a winger when I bring him in off the bench. And so I get thinking he's not good. But yeah, once again, the assistant coach knew what they were doing. He is actually a good striker. Who do they want for the under-21s? Miguigwe and Malongo. Okay. I don't care about either of these guys. I'm not playing them. They can have them. Who are you? Oh yeah, they're the Egyptians. That'll be an interesting match next time. Mizizi has developed a new trait. I'd probably be more interested in that if I ever used Mizizi, but I think he's still one of my under 18s. Alright, time to vote for World Footballer of the Year. I have a very simple method for doing this. I find who has the 3 highest ratings and I vote for them. So it's going to be Mbappe. Um, 48, 67, 86. So second is Silva. And then I believe the third highest was in the 60s. Yeah, it was Haaland. I feel bad voting for a Manchester City player, but I'm trying to be honest with these votes instead of just voting for the guy from my favorite team. I mean, I also voted for someone from PSG, so. And honestly, it's like all Man City, PSG, or Real Madrid, except for one person, so it's like you're voting for one of the evil empires no matter what. I like that my assistant coaches are confident enough that they think we can come into the Pirates match attacking. It's been a while since we've been able to come in attacking against them. Actually, I don't think I've ever been good enough to do it. I noticed their coach was onto the way that the Ivorians gave me trouble. Board's still happy with me. Squad's happy with me. Those are the most important metrics for this season because I'm not expecting a lot of success in the tournaments, but our league's just maintaining board support is the most important thing. Pirates fell back down the table a little bit, but that's not a strike against them. It's just other people haven't played more games. So I'm not reading. You can keep your hands right off Skitlong. I'm not going to be mean about it, but if I can actually keep Skitlong healthy and get him settled into that striker position, he has a potential of being a massive asset for the team. And it is interesting that their coach started this rumor about wanting Skitlong right when I named him as their starter against them. A whole bunch of scouting reports coming in at once is nice. Yeah, just keep coming. Only fitness test was Mattia, and he's fully fit for the match. Like, we need to keep a bit of an eye on him, but not too worried. 29 degrees and calm, so very similar conditions to what we faced last time. Hopefully we play better. No changes recommended. Mirosavic is still below par. Sentinel is not quite as good as I'd like. But I don't have a 2-star in. I'm finally getting things lined up. Mitenge was not as good as I'd like. We've actually got Lacala playing on the wing where he's good. Yeah, this is the strongest team we've been able to name for months. Possibly all season. We finally might be breaking out of that injury rash we had early on. And just the wear and tear of the tight early schedule was the other problem, because we didn't have that many injuries. We had a couple. They were just enough to be inconvenient and mess up squad rotation, tire everyone out. But if we had had an easier schedule, I think we'd be leading the league right now. We probably wouldn't stay there because at some point the schedule would catch up with us. Like, that's the thing playing in South Africa. You always get those spells of like 3 games in 4 days or so. I still think, like, realistically, we're slightly higher on the table than we should be. I think we should be in like 4th or 5th place, and we're up in 3rd. I doubt that's going to last, although the schedule tends to get easier on the second half of the year, so we might be able to sustain it. That was a really nice play by Tunkara. I love that I'm able to come in with an attacking mentality against the surging Pirates and still feel confident. That's a good sign. They're doing exactly what their coach said they were going to do too, which is sit back and try to break up my passing into the box. Because the fact is, he did have a very good read on my team and what we do. But I don't want to take a knee-jerk reaction and change tactics when we have something that's working. We're not the most adaptable squad on the planet, and if I go and make up a new tactic 3 days before the game because the opposing coach said that he had a read on my current one, we're going to go out and suck. So it's better to just play what we know and hope we can do it better than them. And honestly, if the coaches haven't kind of figured me out, they've got problems. I've been on this basic 4-2-3-1 wing play strategy for 8 years now. With this team, I have not had a reason to change formations. I haven't gotten in any players that were good enough to drastically change what I was trying to do. And it keeps working, so. I think sometimes people are too hasty to abandon a tactic. I find it's more important to manage at the individual positions so that you're getting the most out of your players than to drastically change your tactics. Like, I've seen some people get super creative and make these really unique tactics that perfectly benefit from each player's individual skills, which is great until that player gets hurt and you can't slot anyone into it because it's too customized. So you have to switch to some other tactic that no one knows. So I like the strategy of having... Oh, Gatau got a yellow. And we've drawn a penalty, which is hopefully not being taken by Tau given how the last one went. It's Siasi. Okay, good. And we score. But I find it's more important to use a more conventional tactic that you can have good squad rotation through, especially if you're playing in a league like South Africa where the schedule can get so congested at times. It's probably not as big a deal if you have like one game a week. You can have like 2 people that can play that role and you're set. You're never going to have both of them injured at once probably, but it's very possible in South Africa for one person to be hurt and the other guy to be tired because you just had a game 2 days ago. And all of a sudden you don't have anyone that can play this super specialized tactic you've developed. I'm very glad that was awarded outside the box. I thought we gave them a penalty there, which would have been really painful because this penalty has a good chance of winning us the game. And at this point, I'm perfectly content to let Pirates play super defensive and block me off from getting into the box. I don't need another goal. I'm not trying to pad my goal differential here. If they're all sitting in my box, keeping me from or in their box, keeping me from scoring, they're not in my box, scoring on me. And Nasa Ketlong has got his 5th of the season, assisted by Matenjwa. So now we've probably won. They haven't shown me they have the ability to score twice in half an hour. They've been getting back on track, but they've been winning games by 1 goal. It looks more like they've shored up their defense than that their offense has gotten better. And probably also they had most of the tough teams early and they're playing the easier teams now. because we're treating them like they're a seventh place team, not a potential league winner that just had a bad run of form and is back on track now. Even though we don't have anyone playing badly, which is nice, it's kind of tempting to take Fountain off because he's getting tired. But I think I'm going to do Toon Kara first. He's playing worse, and he's also fairly tired. And I don't have anyone to put in for him. It's a very attacking favored bench I have. I think my best bet is to put Ward in for him. Like I was saying, it's always good to have that one role player that you can slot in just about anywhere. I know Ward isn't technically good enough to play at the wing, but I'm hoping I can take him back and then move Safema up. Yeah, this is what I was thinking I could do. Get Ward playing central midfielder, put Safema in at the wing. Ward's okay there. Safema is okay here. Neither one's great, but they're both playing in a position they're at least capable of playing. Bad strike from Long there. But I don't hate it. It gives Ward a chance to slot into his proper new position. Well, I really like the team I was able to name for this game. I don't like the bench I have. I think Saketlan was onside there. 6th goal of the season, assisted by Ward. Now that we're up by 3 with 25 minutes to win, I don't feel bad about bringing Ward in. Not only because he got the assist there, but because he is a much worse player. And we've made 2 positions worse with that change, but we're up by 3 with not much of the game left. I think we're all right. And keeping my good players fit is important. The schedule is not absolute brutality, but we don't want to start racking up with injuries again before that run at the end of December. And they did get one back. Makwina, assisted by Zungu. Through the section of the pitch I made worse, so this might come back and bite me in the ass. A 2-goal lead is a lot less comfortable than the 3. I still think we're alright, though. Well, they are attacking again from that same section of the pitch. I made my choice. I'm going to have to live with it. We did get the ball back on a breakaway. Somehow Safema came away with that. And Ward had an excellent strike. Matenjwa keeps it. Almost got ahead by 3 again. Second chime. Now we're going to take Safema. No, I don't have anyone I can put in for Safema. We're going to put Monty Banthwa in. I have an idea to make this work. First thing we're doing is switching over here. Like that. And then we're going to pull Monty Banthwa in tighter. Kind of open up the outside channel there, but He can play as a central midfielder, all right. And this keeps an approximation of our formation. No, I don't want him focusing through the middle. I was thinking about moving it to the left to try to keep the ball further away from all those changes I made. But I still think my best players are in the center of the pitch. Falongo scored for them, and Senamella picked up an injury. That's not going well. I don't think Senamella's injury is very serious, but we'll find out after the game. Suddenly this game has gotten concerning, though. They're a mile onside. Here we go. Sketlon got a free kick and scored. We're back up by 2 goals with less than 10 minutes to play. This is why I want them keeping their hands off Sketlon. I think that might have been his hat trick. Oh, and I forgot to make my last sub because I was looking at the drama there. It's pretty much got to be Mirosavic. He's the only person not playing well still that I haven't already subbed. So I'll take him off for Mattia. I haven't had Mattia on for a bit. He's been coming back from injury, but he's not going to hit full match sharpness if he's never on the pitch. Yeah, that was a very blatant offside. You really don't need to show. Actually, he wasn't as offside as I thought he was. I thought he was already a good foot or two out there where it was really obvious. It would be nice if we can put this away by 3 goals, but a 2-goal win over Orlando Pirates is always something I'll be happy with. Lacala picked up another yellow. He might be due for another suspension, which would be really unfortunate because I just got my back line working. And this is why I've kept Fountain in the entire match, even though he's tired. Because he's putting in a performance like that. And this isn't a game where I can just afford to take off people because they're tired if they're playing really well. I respect Pirates too much for that. I don't know why I'm so tense in these last 30 seconds. They can score and we still win the game. So, like I said, this isn't a game I'm worried about goal differential. I'm perfectly happy to win it by 1. We definitely put on a much better performance today than we did in the last match, even though the scores are similar. Sure, I'll give them that direction. It's not going to matter, but... Ref had a perfect match, so that means Lacala deserved his yellow card. Siasi scored his first goal for us. Peterson made first league goal, apparently, so he probably made his other. And it looks like everything else is Pirates related, although the fact that their goalkeeper Peterson was finally beaten, having gone 180 minutes without conceding before this, is kind of related to us, so I'll pass that one along. Definitely going to tell the team that they did a good job. That was a very complete performance, and I was not expecting such a solid performance after the way they looked against the Ivorian team. So we've managed to claw our way into second, however briefly. Actually, we're probably alright there because we have a goal in hand on Chippa, so we're probably fairly confidently holding on to second unless Black Leopards makes a bit more of a run. But they're a full point. Actually, they're only a point behind us. Their draws have pulled them close. He's right. He's definitely right. He did identify the way to beat my team. He just couldn't pull it off. Mattia might get a salary boost soon. I don't have enough squad depth to worry about trying to prevent that from happening, so when it happens, because it's going to happen this year sometime. Sketlong was our player of the match. Nothing about the injury, so apparently it wasn't really anything serious at all. It was just one of those knocks that sucks in the moment and wears off almost immediately. So, with that, we'll just take a look at what we have coming up next time and sign off here. We've got our away match against LLI, who are our toughest competition in this tournament. Hopefully we play substantially better than we did against FC San Pedro. And then we've got Highlands Park in the league, who are currently sitting way down in 10th, so we're probably fine there. So it's going to kind of be a one-match recording next time. But hopefully you'll tune in for that anyway. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone.